Good afternoon, guys. MWUSA Season 4, Episode 48. It is Sunday afternoon and just leaving home. It is 32 degrees outside. The sun just came out. I'd say mostly sunny skies and just a few clouds here and there. Looks like it's going to be a good day. Heading out to my first casino. I did update my chart for last month, and for once, I have got my numbers kind of early for you. So for the month of February, was a very rocky February, especially at the beginning, but had a nice finish at the end. The last week of February finished plus around 12,500 for the week. And for the month, I believe I ended this, ahead about, if I remember right, like 23,600 or 23,700 positive for the month, so that was good. I went from being down as much as 14,000 off my goal for the year, like year to date, to only being down about 3,800 for the last day of February. So that was a huge improvement, and I owe a lot of it to the last week there, and the two overnights that I did, the Sunday overnight that I always do, but also the Wednesday overnight that I did, ended up hitting whatever 15 casinos or whatever. So that was interesting. I do like those. It is kind of frustrating when it's 2 or 3 in the morning and you're getting kind of tired, and you know the next spot's only going to pay you $20 or $40, but you have to go through the motions, and that's when you wish more than ever that you had a partner with you to do the driving. But you know, if you think about it, if you did have a partner, now instead of making 20 to 40, you're making 10 to 20 at the next spot, and that's not very good. So let me think here. As far as buying and selling for last month, was only about a little less than 500, like 470, 480, something like that. And right now it doesn't look like there's any opportunities to do what I was doing, just because price fluctuations. I don't know what's going to happen with the tariffs changing things, but as far as credit card stuff, last week was a bad week. I was down as much as, I was down a lot of the time, but I ended up coming back a little. This past week, I did pretty well on the credit card stuff, so that's all good. We are now in March, which means that this is the month that we're going to have a week off in Vegas. I would love to make just $2,000 in Vegas for the little bit of time that I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there for one overnight only, basically. Well, maybe 2 overnights, I guess. One of them, there's no way I'm going to gamble, because it'll be 1 or 2 in the morning by the time we settle in. So I'll basically have one evening where everybody is sleeping and I am doing a little bit of gambling, and then I'll be driving all day that day. So gotta make sure I do get some rest. So maybe have the kids go to sleep by like 11, and then I could play from maybe midnight to 2 or 3 in the morning. We'll see how all that goes. So still going to reach out to my friend in Vegas and see if we can set up a few things while we're there. Other than that, most of the vacation is ready to go. I'm very excited about that. Also, right now, working on setting up our cruise. Doesn't look like the kids will be going with us, just because it's kind of a hassle, to be honest. They haven't been agreeing lately. A lot of little squabbles. So I think it's just going to be me and the wife taking a cruise this year, trying to figure out where to go. I was going to do Greece and Turkey, or Greece and Italy, but it doesn't look like that's going to work out. I'll take one more look at it, but it looks like it's going to be difficult to do. So we may end up doing something like Boston to, Bermuda to Florida or something. I hate to do that. Maybe like Florida to Dominican and Puerto Rico. I don't know. So, and St. Thomas, we'll see. I'll figure something out. We'll get that scheduled soon. Let's see. That's really about it. All the credit card stuff finally went through. I finally have some balance available on my cards. and now I know that I only should pay when I have the balance maxed out at the 30,000 and just pay it through the app, and that way I know everything is cool. So that's really about it right now. Heading out to our first casino, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back, just leaving this casino. I was in there a little longer than I wanted, but I tried to look at everything. There were still a lot of machines that I couldn't get to because it was so busy, because they were giving a free gift away. And yeah, just couldn't find a lot of stuff in there. I found one play, just one, two plays. One of them made like 57 and one made like $1. Actually, one made like 52 and one made like $6. So yeah, it was very crowded because of this gift. Really, even the machines that people were sitting on, I really didn't see many plays, one or two plays, and they looked like the people were going to be there for a while. On those couple rare plays, I saw seats that were tilted against the machine because people were going to get more money, so it didn't look like I was going to have an opportunity to make anything on those. And I did see about 5 people checking machines. So, you know, what am I going to do? Am I going to wait around to argue over a machine? So I thought the best thing to do would be just to take off. So we're starting our March, today's March 2nd, we're starting our March plus $58, plus 58 at our first casino, and we're going to move on to the next casino. So different than last week, this week is going, I don't remember actually where I went last week. This week is going to be a lot of smaller casinos, a lot of slots, 1 or 2 sessions of blackjack, versus like day before yesterday, Friday, where I didn't really get that many sessions in because casinos were a little bit further apart. So you know, there's good and bad. I wish that every casino I went to had blackjack that I could play, but that would be really difficult in this area. Plus, just the fact that I haven't been backed off of everywhere already is a miracle in itself. So I have been waiting to pull the trigger on a plan for a long time. I don't think I can wait much longer. It's probably going to have to be this month. And when I do that, most likely what's going to happen is I will probably only hit 1 or 2 casinos in a day. And if you know what I'm talking about, and try to see if I can make things happen that way and just spend, you know, half a day or a full day in that casino. So anyway, I don't know if I mentioned it. I probably didn't, but about a year and a half ago, I went to a casino to spend the whole day there. Ended up losing money and not getting anything out of it. No offers, no nothing. So that was the casino that I went to early Thursday morning, where I hit that jackpot for $27.90, I think. So it felt pretty good to get some of that money back, since I'd kind of wasted a whole day there and didn't make any money. So that's what's going on right now. Right now I got plenty of fuel. I should be good for at least 2 or 3 more casinos, and hopefully they're not as busy as this one was. And I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back. That was a very long session, and a very boring session, and a very bad session. And there were a lot of people checking machines in there. I really feel like I should almost stop coming to this casino, or maybe change my hours or my days. I thought about switching to Saturday instead of Sunday, but I think it's going to be the same thing at this time of day. It's going to be the same crowd, the weekend crowd. It's going to be all the advantage players that have a job and come in on nights and weekends, and I don't think I'm going to get that much more either way. But played a couple small plays and was about even, maybe $20 ahead, and then played 2 new machines. One of them, I'm going by the numbers that I was given by somebody, and didn't work out very well. Ended up losing about $1,200 on that one at $6 a spin. And then another one, which I went, it's also a new one, which I went by someone else's numbers, and I ended up winning about $400 or so on that one. and just overall couldn't make a lot of money. They were all very marginal plays, not great plays. And that second one that I was just talking about, even that one, I don't know if I would ever play that game, because even when you get what you're going for, you're not guaranteed much. So I don't think it's worthwhile. So I don't think I'm going to play that one anymore. The other one I've had my ups and downs with, but overall I'm probably even to slightly down. So I have to do a little bit more research on that one before I decide what to do. Overall, I ended the session down $898, so very bad session, minus $898. And we're going to move on here to another casino. We're going to play some blackjack. And on my drive, I was doing some other stuff, trying to take advantage of some margins, and ended up making another almost 300. So made a little bit of it back, but got a long way to go. So right now, I'm going to continue on. It's 36 degrees. It's been dark for a while now, and we're moving on to another casino. Hopefully, get a little bit of blackjack in, make $500 or $700, and get out of town. So that's what's going on right now. I wish I had a lot to talk about, but when I lose, I kind of well, I either go on forever or I don't have much to say. And right now, I don't have much to say. So let's just leave it at that for now, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, a little bit better. Today has been a day of new games, and there's a game I've researched a little bit and seen people play it online and learned about it, but I've never played it before, and I was able to play it today, and I lost a little bit of money on it. It was only like 60 cents a spin or 50 cents, so it was a low amount, but I thought I had the right information on it, and I may have, and it might have been bad variance. I lost about $50 on that one. And then I went and played some blackjack, and then on the way out played one more machine and gained a little bit. And I ended my slot session down $24, so minus 24 on the slots. But like I said, I did play some blackjack. I went to the blackjack area. There's only two tables that are stay 17, 6 deck with good penetration. So you got to be careful and get the right ones. This happens a lot. Same casino, and they have a bunch of different rules on the same game or a similar game. And I walk by these two tables. They both have someone on there, no mid-shoe entry. So I decided to continue taking a walk, and then I came back, and there was one table that was about to be available. It was the end of the shoe. So I sat down and waited, and this girl was just losing every hand, and kept pulling more and more money out of her purse. And then I sit down, I start playing, and we play almost a shoe, about 2/3 of a shoe, and she runs out of money. So she says, hold my spot, I'll be back. I bought in for $500, and the pit boss said, he said, I know I've asked you this before, but you don't want to play with the card, right? I'm like, no. He's like, okay, that's fine. And he walks off. And he actually comes back later on to type in people's bets. And, I'm flat betting this whole time. And he's like, well, I'll just put you down for 100. And he walks away. So obviously, no any kind of resistance there, any kind of trouble there. And part of the reason that I didn't have a lot of trouble there is the counts were terrible. I might have gotten to a true one once, or maybe a few hands, but for the most part, I bet minimum bet. And after the first shoe, I had like $25, and a guy comes to the table, chubby guy, wearing a very colorful t-shirt, and looked like he didn't know what he was doing, but he was okay. But he played a lot of side bets, and he tipped the dealer a lot of money. He'd bet like 50 or 75 on the bet and 25 for the dealer. 25 for the dealer. And I figured out later on, he is an idiot, because then he's like, when he left, okay, I'll tell you in a second. Anyway, we play a couple shoes, and it's pretty much staying around 0 plus something, minus something, just very little above or below 0. And finally I ended a shoe ahead, 525. We had some good variance on that table. He was ahead like 800 or something like that. But he wasn't betting minimum like me. He was betting bigger. And so I said, I'm going to color up and leave. And he says, you're going to leave already? And I'm like, well, I doubled up, and, I don't want to give it back. All the excuses that you would normally give. And he says, if you're going to leave, then I'm going to leave. I'm like, okay, well, that's good. You lock up a win. And so we start walking. He's like, man, I'm glad I won a little bit. He goes, I'm glad you got up because I lost so much money on that free bet out there. I'm like, bruh, come on. Free bet? I just lost all respect for you. And there was something else, I forget now. But anyway, I said, man, the odds on free bet are so much worse than it is on here. He's like, yeah, but sometimes you get lucky. I'm like, sometimes you do. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. So there you go. I guess you feel like a nut today. So anyway, for the stop, I ended ahead 525 on the blackjack and minus 24 on the slots. And I had a thought. I said to myself, let me go to that city that I haven't been to since I had the problem with the table games manager and the gaming commission, where they threatened me, and they said the fact that I know that I don't have to give ID makes me suspicious, and therefore I have to give ID because I am suspicious. And I was like, what? So, and that's the day that, if you remember, I had recorded it, and I was going to release it, and I ended up accidentally deleting the recording. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go over there, and we'll see if I'm still welcome or not, because I kind of feel like I may not be. But there's only one way to find out. I'm going to head over there, we'll see what happens, and I'll be back to update you. Alright, just to be clear, I'm going to a different casino first, then I'm going to that casino, so I'm not going there straight away. So I'm going to stop at this small time place, little hole-in-the-wall place, see if we can make a couple bucks, and I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. I need to get fuel next. I'm just leaving this casino right now. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to go to that casino. Pretty far away. It's about another 100 miles. I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to do it. It's getting late. And if I did do it, and I stopped at 2 blackjack casinos, including that one, and then went home and I spent 45 minutes to an hour at each of them, then I would get home about an hour before work started. So what I'm thinking about doing is just go to one blackjack casino, although I don't like it that much there, but try to make a little bit more money there. There are some reasons for me to be concerned about that casino once my buy-in is high enough, which I kind of feel like maybe next time I should keep some of those chips if I go there. That way my buy-in is not as much. Anyway, I think let me go get some fuel. We're going to go play some blackjack, and then from there we'll have to decide for sure, but I think I'm going to skip the next one after that. I started thinking by the time I get there, if it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then they've already shut down the blackjack tables, now I wasted a whole trip out there. There's a lot of slot people out there already. So now the closest place to me is 100 miles away, and I can't make any money while I'm there. So I would have wasted a couple, 2-3 hours. So I'm most likely not going to go, but I still may. We'll see. For now, I'm going to let you go, get some fuel, consider getting some food. All I've had today is what I ate with the family at lunch. So, yeah, it might be a good idea to get some food as well. But for now, I'm going to let you go. Oh, how did it go? So, I go into this place, I find one play, and it's a very good play at a minimum bet, less than $1. And still, I didn't make any money. I lost $25 on it. So minus $25, that's all the money I could make, or that's the only thing that I could find that was in a good position. and it was in an excellent position. I've never found it in that position before, and I still lost money on it. So minus $25 for that stop, and we're moving on to the next casino. We're going to play some slots and some blackjack after we get some gas. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back, and I went on a little ride there. Showed up, walking in, and looking at machines first, like I always do. And I find a play at $3 a spin on a rare machine. You know, normally people don't check it. Normally it's not in range. I play that one through. I'm actually involved with this machine for about 300 when it pays out, and I end up ahead $17 on that one. And then eventually I find like $3 more around everywhere, so I'm ahead $20 overall on slots. So that's fine, no problem there. And so I decided to go play some blackjack. And there was a nice table, good rules, hand shuffle, very good. I mean, the pen was okay, 1 1/4, somewhere in there. So it wasn't terrible. I mean, normally I wouldn't even play 1 1/2. So 1 1/4 is my limit. So I sit down and start playing it. As soon as I sit down, this other guy sits down next to me. He actually says, I'll be right there, I'm coming over, okay. And the dealer says, have you ever played with this guy before? I said, no. Why? She's like, well, I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be a ride, isn't it? So he comes over, and he sits down. He's got like 400 in chips already, and he buys in for 1,000 more. He's got 1,400. He starts by betting $75 on the bet, $50 on one side bet, and $25 on the other side bet. Eventually, he raises that to $75 on one side bet and $50 on the other. And these are difficult side bets to hit. So the one pays a lot, and you probably know which one I'm talking about. If they're similar side bets, one pays more than the other. So, and it's on like the worst schedule for the lower one. Instead of paying graduated amounts, it pays the same amount for any of the things that you hit. So that's probably enough information to let you know exactly which one I'm talking about. But so he's playing and losing and playing and losing, and you know, he's lucky enough that he's hanging around zero this whole time. He gets a couple okay payouts, $400, $500 payouts, but nothing really fantastic. And I had bought in for 300 at this table, and he's like, you can't play scared, boy. I'm like, okay. He's like, when you're playing cards, you make your money on the side bets. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I learned. Yeah, you're right, okay. So he leaves eventually, but not before doubling down a 7, hitting on an 11 against a face card instead of doubling, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, staying on 15, staying on 14 against face cards, doing all this stuff. He's trying to teach me how to play. So finally he leaves. He's about even when he leaves. And but during that last shoe that he was there, I was like up $200 or $300, and I was building and building and building, and then he pulled a couple weird stunts, and we saw that I would have won those big hands, and then I just started going down and down and down, and then the shoe ends, I'm ahead like $50. Next shoe starts, he's gone, count starts going up, I'm losing. I'm like, who would have thought when he was better, it would have been, when he was there, it would have been better. So eventually, this Indian guy and his wife, which I've talked about them probably 3 or 4 months ago, come to the table, and I know this guy plays crazy, and he plays slow, and he's like always like trying to talk the dealer into giving him different cards, and asking questions. Why you give me that, and stuff like that. How come you gave me this instead of this? Why you do this instead of? Oh, come on, man. So I was going to leave at the end of that shoe no matter what. When I saw he sat down, and I ended that shoe ahead, but not much, 62.50. So plus 62.50 on the blackjack, and plus $20 on the slots. And it's late, and I'm not going to go to the further place that's 100 miles away because it just doesn't make sense. I'd end up getting home potentially after work is supposed to start, and I may not be able to play anyway because the tables might be closed. There's only 2 good tables at this huge casino, so I'm not going to go do that. So right now, we are continuing our trip. We got some more stops, and hopefully we have some better variants. So far, I think we're running around even, so not great, not terrible, but we'll try to make some money now. So anyway, letting you go, 27 degrees outside, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I am back. So some things have happened since I talked to you. I did a live event for about 2 hours, and just chatted with other listeners and went back and forth and all that kind of stuff. And that's really nice to get to know people, where they're from and what they like to play and things like that. So that was a lot of fun as always. It's a lot of talking for me because all one way, they're typing and I'm talking. So that was like 2 hours and 15 minutes. But man, I can't believe. Now see, Doge is still going down, even though everything else is going up, because Doge was never meant to be anything, and it's easily hackable, and people just got into it because other people got into it, and it's not the smartest investment. Looks like things have leveled off in the market, but things had really shot up when Trump announced that we're going to have a crypto reserve for our country. So I went into the next casino and played a bunch of different things. I'm trying to think which one kind of took my money. Yeah, the same machine as earlier today took my money again. Not the exact same machine, but the same type of machine. So I'm gonna really have to double check my information on that one. Other than that, that one took like 300 away from me. Other than that, everything else I played pretty much made money, and just overall it was really quiet, not much going on. There was one machine where I was able to check 2 of the 3, and there was a guy playing on the 3rd machine, and then I came back later on and he was gone. I was able to make a quick $50 off that one, so that was all good. But I ended that session ahead $112, and yeah, so moving on here to the next casino. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So went to the next casino and looked at a lot of stuff, but didn't find a lot of stuff. I found a couple borderline plays, one at about $2.50 a spin and one at $8 a spin, and both of them were not close enough for me. The $8 a spin one was the closest, but technically it was still probably would have taken another 75 spins at $8 to get it in range, and that's a lot of money to be throwing away from your EV. So decided not to play that, but played a couple small plays and ended my session ahead, but not by much. So looked at a lot of stuff, walked around a lot, but only made about $12 in there. So I think for the day I'm probably down 200 or 300. If you include the other stuff I do, I'm probably around even for the day. So, if I had known that it was going to be like that, obviously I would have stayed home, but you never know which casino is going to be the one that's going to pay you, and you never know what the right timing is, so you have to be there as much as possible. But I did get some good food today, and we can talk about food a little bit right now. What did you eat today, MW? Today after church, I took the family out to a steakhouse, and I had an 11-ounce sirloin with a nice salad with some blue cheese dressing and broccoli. And overall, all that was only about 5 or 6 carbs, and a lot of meat. So we'll keep burning that fat. It was pretty good. And I did the total bill was like $145, and I went on to Pepper and I bought a gift card for $145. I got 2% cash back from Wells Fargo for it, which is what, $3, and then I got 5% off on Pepper, so that's another what, $7 or so. And I used $20 in points from Pepper to pay for it, so I only paid $125. So a lot of things there, and you know, we're saving money every way that we can. When I stopped to get gas a little bit earlier, I saved whatever it was, 11 cents a gallon. I only paid like $2.30 a gallon for gas. So, you know, trying to do all the right things. But I would give that steak, it was really good. The salad was really good. I'm not really a salad guy, but it was really good because it doesn't have a lot of stuff on it. It was like cheese, tomatoes, some egg, you know, just basic, and croutons, which I took the croutons off and gave it to one of my daughters. But I'd give that meal at least a 10 on a scale of 2 through ACE. And then late tonight, about midnight, I had a double cheeseburger about 11:45 p.m. Without any bread, and that was very good. The cheese was good, the burger was good, and overall just delicious. So can't complain about that either. I would probably give that a 9 on a scale of 2 through ACE. And really, we're kind of wrapping things up right now. It's 25 degrees, and I'm heading toward home. And we'll get home probably around 5, so we'll have plenty of time to get a couple hours of sleep and get up and, you know, have a nice start to the morning. Actually, I needed to make sure I got home on time because I have some of the kids' laptops that they use for school because they were fooling around and not being nice, so I had to take their devices away from them, and they need these for school, so I need to make sure I'm there before they leave for school. And the first set of kids leaves around 6:30 for school, so it's a good thing I'll be getting there at a decent hour. And really, that's all that's going on today. Wish it could have been better. I wish it could have been longer. Could have found more plays, but it just didn't work out that way today. And we'll just add it to our chart and keep moving forward. So for now, I'm going to let you go. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.